Hey guys, I'm excited for this one. It's taken me so many months to get it done. It is the Stihl 031 AV Super. It's had a full teardown, case half split, brand new OEM, new old stock bearings had to come from America and the UK. They come with proprietary seals, so you can't just buy those separately either. The fuel line is proprietary. Everything on that 031 is proprietary. So that was probably I think late 60s, early 70s model. I could be wrong. If I am, I'm going to write it down the bottom just to confirm it. But this is going to be the first start. Now there's four things that I am not happy with that I will listen for and see if I can pick up on. The first one, let me spin you around. The first one, I forgot to grab myself a boot, so we may have wire or spark grounding out. We will have to see. If it does that, well then we can't run it. The second one is the muffler. I think the baffle inside has come off its spot welds because it's rattling around in there. I can't do anything, haven't got a spare, haven't got a welder to cut it and then re-weld it to remove that baffle. That's one. That's two. Number three, what was the third point? So that was it. Number three is the clutch springs, brand new OEM, but even though the part number I gave to the Stihl shop was all right, they felt very tight. So I'm interested to see where they engage. If they don't engage until a very high RPM, I'm gonna have to replace those. So I'm keeping an eye on that as well. And the fourth thing, I don't know. I can't remember. So if it crops up, it crops up, but it couldn't have been terribly important because I forgot it. So what I'll have to do, I'll start it without the air filter on. I suppose this is the fourth thing really. This one's damaged up the top, bit of cracked plastic, but it is original for this saw, so I have got a spare, but which is complete, but the plastic's much worse off in color wise, even though it's complete. So I think I might stick with this one, but I need that off to be able to tune the saw. We're just gonna I'm gonna probably tune it just by ear. I haven't got anything to load it up on here, so we're just gonna see if it starts, see if it runs. And I really wanted to bring you along. This is literally the first start, so we will see how we go. Let's get you set up and we'll go from there. How many pulls do you reckon? She starts up, I'm gonna say 6 pulls until it starts to... Actually, there was a tiny bit of fuel I squirted into the carb metering side because I wanted to check the needle was seating, so that might make it a bit easier. We will see. All right, we're on, high, choke. Let's give it a go. Let's bring you nice and close. Oh, I took the whole recoil apart, cleaned everything, changed everything, new rope, all of that. 4 pulls. Choke off. Straight away I can see the springs are absolutely fine. The chain is a bit loose, but the fact that the springs in the clutch aren't too tight means they're fine. And I can't hear the baffle either. Let's warm it up and I'll bring you back once it's warm and then we'll tune it together. What I'll do, I'll talk you through what I'm going to do with the tune. I've actually got a dedicated how to tune a chainsaw video. I'd like to think that it's a pretty darn good video, so I can't remember how to link it, but just go back through my videos. How to tune a chainsaw. It's a 5-minute video and it's just no nonsense, right to the point on what to do. But basically we're going to bring the idle up. So we've got, well, I don't really generally go by chain spinning. I just bring the idle up a little bit, so when I adjust the low speed screw, the engine won't stall. But on the other hand, I haven't got it so high that it's going to start to pick up fuel off the high side or the high speed side of the carb. So I bring the screw up. I'm then going to find the fastest point on the low speed screw. When it's there, I'm going to bring that, or I'm going to adjust the idle one more time just to make sure we haven't got excessive RPM. And then I'm going to richen that up for good off-speed acceleration. So I should pin that trigger. Shouldn't be any bog. And if there isn't, then that's great. If I need to richen it up or lean it out, I can do that. Then we go wide open throttle. I lean it out until it no longer 4 strokes. I back it off until it 4 strokes quite roughly, and then I clean it. Then I go slightly leaner. So we're still getting a really nice heavy 4-stroke, but it's not so much that when it comes back off idle, the engine wants to drop down 400-500 RPMs or it stalls. And again, I don't want it so lean that it starts to run clean. That's really important. I've got a tack too, and I can always check that over, but that's what I'm going to do. So you can have a listen now, and you can see. I think we're good there. Let's just double check that we can access those because the linkage is in the way. No, we should be fine. Okay, let's start it back up. It's exactly what I'm going to do. You can have a listen and we'll go from there. On. Should start up easily. It doesn't load up. Good throttle response. Sounds good to me. We'll now go full throttle. The screwdriver's a bit small, so it's quite tricky to hold on to the screw, but we'll see how we go. Could you hear that, the muffler? You can hear that rattle, that tinging sound. That's the baffle, I believe, inside the muffler. But that's okay. I will let the owner know. I'm not going to replace that. He's got the ability to weld, so if he wants to cut the muffler in half, remove the baffle, you don't need it. Put it back together with a strip of weld, you'll be absolutely fine. So that's it, how you tune a chainsaw. It's very simple, but that's the basics. Then what you'd need to do is to get it into the wood. You'd need to load the engine up. You want to make sure that it takes a decent amount of load to get it off 4-stroking so that it cleans up in the cut. And that as soon as you take weight off of the bar, even just a slight amount, it should instantly go back to 4-stroking. You don't want it running clean really quickly as it touches the wood. That 4-stroke is a very important aspect of any 2-stroke engine tuned correctly when not under load. Whether it be a strimmer, whether it be a chainsaw, and anything else in between, doesn't matter. Only time that doesn't apply is with an engine that's already under load as it is. So a leaf blower, for example. You don't apply more load to a leaf blower as you blow leaves. It's already under load, so you want to make sure you tune that on the rich side, but that it's not four-stroking as it's running. So there we go, that's it. The other thing, we'll just finish off now with the tack. 2,200 to 2,500 RPM at idle is perfect. They say 12,000 RPM up on the high. I believe I'm a bit richer than that. I'm a bit lower than that, and that's where I want to be. I haven't checked it yet. I've got the tack in my pocket. Let's spin the camera around and we'll get you going. But let's start it up first. About 10 to 11,000. So I'm about 1,000 richer on the high-speed screw than I expected, but that's a very close guess. And the low-speed screw, we're probably just a smidgen rich, because you could start to see it dropping down, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. It's going to make cold starts very, very easy. We're in the middle of winter here in Australia. Now that's a relative term here, cold start, but that's fine. It starts, it's not loading up, it's not dying out, it's going too wide open throttle cleanly. There's no burbling off idle, which would mean it's too rich, and there's no bog off idle, which would mean it's too lean. We're within spec on the low speed, we're rich on the high, which is exactly where we want to be until we get it under load. So everything's been tuned, everything's set exactly how I want it. The last thing, we've got to get that cover back on. Now sorry, I've got to look here, not here. That cover will actually restrict the amount of air that can get into the carburetor, and it'll actually make it run richer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the carb on now. I'm then going to start it up. I'm going to have a listen. If I need to tweak it at all, I will do. But really, I think we're pretty much spot on with where we are. So let's get that done now. We'll start it up and we'll have a listen. Yeah, bring your knife in close. Why not? Have a good look. Here's the cover. It will restrict airflow, but that's fine. So the only thing that really needs to be addressed at the moment that I can see is the baffle. I mean, the chain is being beautifully oiled. The spark plug isn't zapping us yet, and it's not grounding. Of course, that needs a boot on it, that's fine. But there we go. Are we on there? Yeah, we're on. Right, let's give it a start. Should start first pull. Sounds perfect to me. Really nice low idle. These old school saws with a big heavy flywheel. Wow, they've probably got a heavier flywheel than the modern ones. They got plastic on them. Crank shaft, counterweights, everything is heavier. So I like to run those a bit richer, get a bit more fuel going through to everything at idle. You don't want it to die. I'm just going to pull that trigger. Now, if there is a bit of a bog, that's not surprising, because that fuel's going to be building up in the crankcase. Two strokes don't like to idle. If they idle for 30 to 60 seconds and then you can use them, that's perfect. But there might be a bit of a bog, but these do flow air much nicer than modern saws. Let's have a listen. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's perfect. She's a bit rich, but it's fine. Better to be a bit rich than a bit too lean. And I'll tune that in the wood, and I'll bring you along for that too. One last quick tip. Whenever you turn off these old saws, pull the rope out, watch what happens. See, it grabs your hand. It just protects the recoil mechanism, but there we go. That's it. Couldn't ask for more than that. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming along with me. Chainsaws are something I'm super passionate about, especially vintage steel chainsaws. I think there's something really special about them. You guys know that have followed me for a little bit of time, but there you go. That's the first start. It's taken me about 9 months to do this rebuild, simply because the parts have been a nightmare, but it's great. Starts, it runs, it cuts, it's passed pressure and vacuum test, got brand new carb kit, brand new bearings, seals, everything's OEM, new old stock, nothing is aftermarket on here. even down to brand new OEM, new old stock rubber AV mounts. That's I don't mess around. We do a good job, we do it once, and you honor the heritage of these old saws that are sort of 50 years old now. So yeah, there we go. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you enjoyed the little tuning video. If you want to know how to do it and have lots of detail, it's only a short video, but it's right to the point. Check that out as well. I'll link it in the description. You can search for it as well in my videos, and I'll see if I can stick it up there. I don't think I can, I'm not that good. And we'll catch you soon, guys. Let's just do a quick start, and we'll finish off with that.